Hi, this is Robert for Seconds Out, joined with the heavyweight prospect George Fox. George, so it's been a while since you've been in the ring. Are there any reasons for that?
It's been a long time. I mean, a lot of people are wondering if I'm retired or off the back of a defeat if I don't have the stomach for boxing or something like that. Honestly, we had a couple contractual things. I'm waiting for some news at the moment. The main thing, I made a point of not making a thing of it because I don't like to make excuses. I had an interview not long ago talking about my last fight, and I've had a lot of health issues over the last year, quite severe ones, which again, I'm not going to open up in it or go into any detail until I get my next victory. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some news. I'm hoping to be out May, June latest.
So we should see you in May, June.
Yeah, that's the latest, by the way.
Do we know where that would be or who that would be with or what promoter?
I've got ideas. This was something pretty advanced. It's pretty much a done deal, but for now, I'm just gonna stay silent on that one until it manifests and actually becomes real.
Well, as I'm sitting with you, it would be silly not to discuss the heavyweight scene and two very big fights coming up very soon. First of all, we've got Anthony Joshua v. Franklin from the United States. How do you see that fight? How do you see Joshua? How do you see Franklin?
You know what? It's an interesting fight, and I think a lot of people have kind of dismissed it because they see AJ, fighting at world level, and then Franklin, he had that showing against Dillian Whyte where I thought it was actually a very good fight. A lot of people viewed it in a negative tone. They just dismissed. They kind of ridiculed Dillian with the performance rather than praising Franklin for what he did. I think when you look at Joshua now, after coming off the back-to-back defeats to Usyk, he's fought pretty much everyone else in the division. If there's any interest in sort of rebuilding him or coming again, then I understand the selection of the fight. I do think it's potentially harder than what's being suggested. So it'll be interesting. Good stylistic matchup. I reckon it'll be a good fight for the fans.
Yeah, I understand from, I had a chat with someone in Franklin's camp that he's done a bit of weight.
Okay.
And that he's looking very good in training.
Sure. I think he's underrated. He's got a decent skill set. My biggest concern with him would be his foot speed. I don't know if he'll be fleet of foot enough to sort of impose himself upon Joshua, but definitely if they're going to exchange, if they're going to trade, he's savvy. He's got a good catch and counter game, good variety in his combinations and his output. So probably be like a fan-friendly fight, I would say.
Some people say that Joshua's main problem now is the fact that he fights scared.
Yeah.
Do you think that's anything in that?
I definitely think there's been an adjustment in his mentality, his approach to fights. I think the thinking, the logic, the plan is this new relationship he's got and moving over to the States is going to help him rediscover maybe that, whatever you want to call it, whatever adjective you want to use, a fearlessness, a hunger, a desire.
Get his mojo back.
Get his mojo back. So I think time will tell. In theory, I understand the move. In practicality, we'll see if he's able to roll back the years.
And it would be great to see AJ regain his world championship or a version of the title. Do you think that's possible?
Everything's possible. I know it's kind of YouTube territory, and a lot of fans seem to we're very opinionated. We like to ridicule people at their first fall or their first plummet, but who am I to write someone off? I never like to say what someone can and cannot do. If you look at him as an athlete and what he embodies from a young 19-year-old or walking to the gym, which is old for boxing terms, no one would have believed he could do what he's done and what he's achieved. So for me to say he can't do it again, having been there already, wouldn't be wise. So you never know. I wish him all the best, and I look forward to seeing. We still want to see maybe the Wilder AJ fight. We want to see Fury AJ. So it's in the fans' interest for AJ to win and maybe make those things happen.
Well, that's right, because we're now going to move on to that sort of takes us nicely on to what I wanted to move on about, should I say?
Sure.
Because we're going to talk about Fury Usyk, and of course we're interested in that fight, but we'd all love to see Fury Joshua.
Yeah, love to see that fight. It's something that's kind of it's been circling for a long time, and it's never felt real, like it's going to happen. But I think there's not like an infinite pool of talent in heavyweights. So it gets to a stage where eventually you'll see these fights almost regardless of the results, providing, okay, maybe if AJ were to lose to Franklin, then it wouldn't happen, but providing he's there and thereabouts, top 5 ranked, I think eventually we will see those fights, because there isn't much else. I mean, other than Dillian White, I mean, Chisora's had multiple, obviously, attempts at world titles and fighting those guys, so he's fought all of those people, so I think we will see some of the matchups that we haven't seen so far. I'm hoping anyway, you know how boxing goes, but I'm hoping.
So when we talk about Fury Usyk, there are two sides that I'd like to ask you about.
Yeah.
Side one is will it or will it not happen, and will it happen now? And side two is how does the fight look if it happens? But let's talk about the bit that's on everyone's mouth, everyone's mind. Every day we hear a different story. Sure. It won't, it will. What do you think? What do you hear?
You know what? I'm always an optimist. I think it will happen, and I think mainly because of a lack of alternative. I mean, when you're going through the rankings, I mean, Joe Joyce is engaged at the moment. There's this talk about Daniel Dubois maybe a fighter, challenging Usyk for his titles, or
I hear that Dubois is injured.
So this is the thing, and then who else is it going to be? I mean, AJ's occupied. Fury's just fought Chisora.
Yeah, well,
Joseph Parker's not in a position. Andy Ruiz, there's stuff.
Yeah, I was speaking to Oleksandr Usyk over coffee a few days ago, and he was saying, well, we can't make this fight happen because of the mandatory situation. Yeah. It'll probably have to be Hrgović.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully to Hrgović, the fans, that's not what the fans want to see. Well, Hrgović was in a 50-50 with Zhang, and was fortunate to get that. I think he did win, but maybe just about. So yeah, I'm optimistic mainly because of environment, circumstances. Surely it has to happen, because otherwise, what is the alternative? And I think from Fury's perspective, obviously everyone knows I'm a fan of him. I've done a lot of camps with him. I do think he's the best of all of them, but I think the fans want it to be definitive, to be proved categorically, so there's no grey area or question marks. So I think from him as well, they will make it happen. I'm sure they will. And like I said, alternative wise. My father trains Derek Chisora, is not a slight to him, but I think post that fight they want to see him with another one of the world champions, and not maybe an Ngannou or something else of that nature. So let's see.
Let's just agree that you're right and the fight happens.
Yeah.
How do you see the fight?
Listen, I think Fury will win. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. Again, has a lot of weapons. Size, the timing, the ring IQ, a lot of things. Again, with boxing, we all have opinions outside of the ring. That's natural, like we do in any sporting arena. But when you're in the ring, there's sometimes unspoken things that people can do that you're not sort of aware of when you're watching. So I actually don't think it will be that difficult for him. However, having said that, you also can't write Usyk off when you look at his resume and what he's achieved in his career. In addition, I think it comes down to sort of attributes. He does bring a few attributes that could cause questions that we haven't seen Fury fight. Someone of that nature, maybe as mobile, as fast, as awkward, as unorthodox. So no doubt he'll bring his own, things to the table, which could, like I said, put some interesting questions forward. But I would expect Fury to answer all of those questions.
So your prediction: win on points, KO.
I think he would win on points, this one, Fury. I think either a late stoppage or points, but I think it'd be points. Yeah.
George, as always, called you your dad's name. Yeah. George, as always, thanks very much. Look forward to seeing you in the ring again. All the best.
Thank you.